Sanibonani emakhaya, this is your host Gaddafi Manafi, the entertainment freedom fighter, and welcome to Attention Show, the voice of the entertainment industry, where I always promise you to deliver your relevant information pertaining the industry, entertainment, blah blah. And of course, what is Gaddafi Manafi without a pinch of controversy? Ngafriza, guys, today. You know, they always say, Wutimin, I've got my favorites. Maybe not, but maybe I do. And honestly, my favorites are people that I come a long way with. You know, like, Kunina, they are new to you, but guys, I think Naming is a celebrity. Because wow, these people were up and coming, were unknown actually back in the days. But now they are a celebrity, you know. So today I brought one of my favorite pianists. I like humble people, and maybe I like Zulu guys, you know, but I love humble Zulu guys. There's a difference. Konaba arrogant. So these musicians, you must be humble also. So today I'm bringing you Lungelo.
Yeah.
Hi, Mr. Lungelo.
Hey,
how are you? I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Yes, man. Welcome. I know. Thank you for making time, man. I don't take it for granted because we are good there and whatever. But thanks for making time and welcome to Attention.
Oh no, thank you for being here. I actually love being here. I believe we're gonna have a great time today.
Yes. I hope so.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hope so.
Absolutely.
I hope I don't need you to say things that you shouldn't be saying. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
I hope we'll handle it well, but yeah, we'll see where we
Yes.
go. Yeah, we'll see.
Yes. So, by breaking the ice, tell us about your COVID season. How was it?
COVID for me wasn't too tricky. It was maybe it was tricky in the sense of it was a bit boring because I wasn't able to get out and about as the usual. But I think it wasn't too bad because I was able to focus on other things in that period. So I think it was just a reflection period for me, mostly, you know. But again, I won't say it was awesome. It's a high colors boy. No, I won't say that. I would be like, honestly speaking, I was fortunate that it wasn't like the worst season of life. Instead, it was just an eye opener for other things and gave me an opportunity to do things that I had procrastinated for very long. And now that we have time, and now we are forced because you are literally at home, you're not going anywhere, you're not gigging, so you're forced. Now deal with it. So that's what it did for me. Basically.
Yeah. And are there any lessons that you have learned because of COVID-19?
Mainly to get back to the things that you had initially planned when you were getting into the industry. Because detail is always there. there's always a detour. You're no longer even focusing on your own music. Archives are a million. And you are always just browsing, and then you Ziba, you go on to something else, and you're doing other people's work and stuff. And so I think I got time to actually get back to even reading again, like as in reading books and stuff, because but as second because Ngokuke ekuseni uyarehearsa ngo-10.
Yeah.
Ngo-3
Yeah.
uyaqeda mhlawumbe ngo-4 une-sound check somewhere. 6 gig is starting, yaphela ngo-11. Same job.
Yeah.
You know, so there
Yeah.
was no time for doing other things. So I actually got to get back to like going to read stuff and actually just trying to find other things here and there just to get some insights in other people's thoughts. And then, yeah, I think that's what I got. And also, Jay, it humbled us. Also, the humility told me all that. COVID-19, it was sort of like a reset button, you know, like a factory reset
Yeah.
button for many people. As much as the career was sky high, we're all back at zero now. You need to, your skill and your professionalism and all of that basically needs to work for you, and that is what's going to take you to keep working. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the main things, basically. Yeah.
Awesome. And for people who don't know Lungelo, Pela, Mina, one thing you don't know and you don't understand is that when we met, I was not even in the entertainment industry. Like, I was not even working. I was not hands-on. I was just a fan. Yeah, a lot of musicians, you know, attending jazz sessions. And that's how I got to meet with you guys, you know. And what you don't know is that one conversation that I had with you and your friend is one thing that pushed me to actually get into the industry and say, fuck, something needs to be done in this industry, you know? So and sometimes people think, you just wake up and you decide. But it's because of conversations that you have. You're like, okay, what's the solution? And then you realize, you are the solution. And if you don't do it, nobody else is gonna do it, you know. But for people who don't know, Lungelo, and who is Lungelo? Where were you born and where were you raised?
Okay, I was born and all of that.
Until tertiary, yeah.
Okay, I was born in Marburg. Marburg is it's in a small town called Potchefstroom. Potchefstroom is 100 kilometers south from Durban in KZN.
Yeah.
So I was born there. Like I grew up there. Went to primary, went to high school there. Until it came to university. When it was university, I went to Durban, which was actually not so far. It's just an hour away from home. And also for people who stay in Joburg, 100 kilometers is nothing for people who stay here. It's like easy. So the Pretoria is your road pot, something like that. But in case you feel it. You feel it because I get to, we have trees and stuff. Buildings and anyway, that was just a side note. But anyway, so when I got to Durban, I was there at university. I studied there. And then from there I stayed in Durban for a while. Maybe to just I don't know if I should talk about the school side of things from primary.
Yes.
Because basically when I was born, my mother had a keyboard but she couldn't play it and whatever. And then when I was about 4, fooling around with that thing since I was like 2 or whatever. When I was 4, it seemed like whatever I'm doing kind of makes sense. And also to me, it made some sort of sense, but obviously, like Mary had a little lamb kind of sense. You know?
Yes.
And then that grew to like when I got to like 6, it actually was a bit richer, but it's not. Piano is complex. It's merely. That side is Zanitende. I can piano like fancy things. Yeah. So when I was 6, I started playing in my dad's church. When I was 6. So, but to get better, that was still a work in progress. Like it was still very elementary.
Yeah.
I grew that way all the way. And then when I got to like grade 12, no, not grade 12, when I was 12 years old,
Yeah.
I spoke to my mother. I was like, I'm kind of interested in this thing. Can I go and do like lessons professionally?
Mm.
And she was more than keen to take me to lessons. I went and did my UNISA grades at this private tutor. I would go every Tuesday and Thursdays. Um,
Mm.
I did like practical piano in UNISA. I did my grades there. I even did my music theory there. And then
Nice.
by the time I went to university, now I'm basically starting university, studying music, and it was
Mm.
just basically a hardcore, full-on music, nothing that we would say something music and this, music and that, and it was just pure.
Yeah.
And I majored in composition and arranging.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I also got to learn how to orchestrate, how to write for big band, how to do all of those things.
Nice.
So yeah, that's what I did until I graduated, and yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Actually, so you're a musician slash pianist, MD, composer, songwriter, arranger. Wait a minute. I can go on and on the whole night.
Yeah.
So, which university did you go to?
I went to KZN at Howard College. It's there in Durban.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it was. Most
Okay.
people who are maybe slightly a bit older, they may know
Yeah.
the faculty while it was in DUT. There was
Uh-huh.
there was the very same faculty, the music school. It was in DUT. Then it was moved to Howard College. By the
Yeah.
time I came, this is Howard College in Glenwood.
Mm,
Yeah,
I see. And who is in the industry right now that we know who was in the uh,
same
uh,
school.
same school at the time you were there?
Okay, at the time I was there.
Mm.
When I arrived if I'm not mistaken, literally the year after Ubedi left. If I'm not mistaken.
Ntemo. Yeah.
Yes. Who was there at the time? Engizomkhumbula. Uqhubeka Mthetho, the bass player. He
Mm-hmm.
was there. There's a bass player, Usenzo Mdamba. He still resides in Durban.
Mm-hmm.
He's also very prominent in the gospel industry. Who else was there? Well, there's other friends of mine who didn't actually go the whole 360. There's a friend of mine, Robin van der Berg. He plays guitar, but he moved on to He moved on to animation. So he just fused animation with music, and that's what he does.
Wow.
I don't know, because it's been some years. I'm losing people's names off my head, but
Yeah.
because I remember most of the people who were there previously. Because people
Yeah.
who were there in my time and after, most of them didn't quite continue in the limelight of being like full on in the music industry.
Yeah.
But there are some guys, because even Luciano Damba, he has a brother who plays drums. Actually, now that I remember, there's a friend of mine, Ulinda Skakani, he plays saxophone.
Yes. Yes, Linda.
Ulinda Skakani, I was with him.
Yeah.
There's Usakile Siman, he played trumpet. Also, there was Uspelelo Mazibugo, he plays drums. Yes, now these names are coming back. There's a friend of mine also, Ilgo. He's a bass player, double bass player. He now stays in the States, if I'm not mistaken. Then there's also a double bass player, Dalisu. He plays double bass. I can't remember many, but that's the few I can remember now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
but
it's
there's more.
the reason why I'm asking is because sometimes I speak to a lot of musicians and you realize Uguti, actually there's a lot of people who went to school and you don't know, you see them out there mastering this music thing and you think they just came across it along the way, but they actually went to study for it and we don't know them. Yeah, so it's good that you all pursued this beautiful career, because I mean, music is beautiful, guys. Music is healing, and I think that's why I am so passionate about it. Because for me, when I'm down, when things don't make sense, music is my escape, and somehow I find
Yeah.
answers in there. And uh,
It
and
is.
maybe and maybe that's why I am so harsh with people who write shit music, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how was your tertiary period for you? Um, how was
Mm.
university? How was it studying music? Because sometimes people think would say kwakubora, like now you just now because you're in the limelight, only now it's beautiful, because your music looks difficult. I mean, from writing those notes to playing
Yeah.
them to now having to teach other people who could see, okay, this note, like it just is. I respect musicians because it's mind blowing for us, and maybe it's
Mm.
not for you guys, but I just need to look at how was it for you at tertiary, like studying music.
Okay. I think for me, especially because I had studied the UNISA music grades and piano grades and all of that, it became a
Yeah,
bit of a breeze. It became a bit of a breeze. It's a bit different for
nice.
somebody who wasn't fortunate enough to go through that phase.
Yeah.
If you didn't go through that phase, when you get to university, it's a bit tricky because ufika nje lapha, they're gonna throw a chart at you, and you're gonna have to learn how to read that thing. You know,
Mm,
it's like
mm,
it's like you have to do so many things all at once, and you have to pass like today. It's like
mm,
that kind of thing. Like go and
mm,
learn and pass tomorrow, kind of thing.
mm,
But
mm,
for me, it wasn't too challenging, so that's why also now I pushed myself even further. We
mm,
visited things and in school, and yeah, I think it wasn't tough even through the years, but also not that it was easy as well. Contrary to that,
mm.
because also it's not like the curriculum is easy. Because Pelenama didn't come there like this piano like insane. I also had a lot to I had a lot to learn.
To
I
learn,
had a
yeah,
lot to I had a lot to learn. Also, technically how to play the right way,
yeah,
because there's a lot of things that you sort of like teach yourself from what you've learned, and then you're not doing it the right way. And then also
mm,
at university, that's when you sort of like um, sort it out. So you see this works and this doesn't. And then I
mm,
think through the years, that's how I managed to really do quite well at school, because I really didn't have a hard time, even with the fact that I was already in the industry at that time. Like literally
mm,
when I got there, it didn't even take that much time for me to start gigging and go to Joburg and always come back on
mm,
Monday and go to school. And then weekend
mm,
I'm going to Joburg, Monday I'm back at school. Um,
mm,
that kind of thing kind of disturbs a lot of musicians. But
mm.
I think I was just fortunate for the background that I had, that it didn't
Yeah.
become too challenging for me.
Mm, mm. I should go to intelligent again.
Ah, it's sleepless nights though. It's sleepless nights though,
Uh,
because also when you have like transcriptions you have to do, and then they are due like in a few days, you're gonna go to that practice room and you're gonna stay there the whole night, or
yeah.
go there maybe like from like 7 p.m. and then you go to bed at like 3 a.m. and then you go sleep for 3 hours, and then at 8 o'clock you're back in class. So there was a
Yeah.
lot of dedication in it as well.
Mm,
You know,
mm.
yeah.
No, and how did you crack into the entertainment industry? Yes, you were doing your gigs on weekends and blah blah, but how did you like really crack into the industry where everybody was like, now Lungelo this way and this way, like where you were in demand?
Honestly speaking, the only way that worked out for me, and I believe it still works for everyone, is word of mouth.
Mm,
It's word of mouth. The fact that this person believes in you and they like what you do and they like.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, come on and play this because for one, I did a lot of free gigs in
Yeah.
Durban, gigs that
Mm.
don't pay at that time, and also playing at church as well. You get exposed to people because I'm just a boy from Port who goes at piano
Yeah.
manager. And then when I get to Durban, it's basically word of mouth. People say, "Wow, there's this guy who just came through. You need to know him, and then you get booked for this gig, and then from this
Yeah.
gig, this word of mouth, and then next person
Yes.
tells this person, and then from there, even the musicians themselves, they speak amongst
Mm.
themselves about you,
Yeah.
and then from
Yeah.
speaking about you, your name circulates. And from
Mm.
the circulation of your name, that's how people are more interested in you. What does he have to offer? Let's get to know this guy. And then that's how from this person I move to this person, from this person I move to this person. And like these are like moving like levels in terms of like this kind of musician who's just gonna give you 500 bucks and stuff, and then wow, now I'm saying
Mm.
for now people go say, hey, we need you in Joburg for this. I'm like,
Yeah.
what? Oh, now I'm gonna get onto a plane. I'm gonna get onto a
Yeah.
plane for the very first time. All those things
Yes.
we've never done before.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
was all of those things, and honestly, there's nothing like word of mouth, and I think it's the only thing that can actually keep pushing a person because as much as
Yeah.
you
Mm.
can advertise yourself on whatever Facebook and stuff, but word of mouth
Mm.
goes like a whole lot further because musicians talk. They talk the most. Honestly
Mm.
speaking, they talk the
Mm.
most, and there's some comments I won't say from who, but from many musicians. You will see if so and so never said anything about you or never said they know you, probably you're not good. I'm not sure how true that is. I'm not sure how true that is, but it's
Yeah.
things that we it's things that we hear. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's just to like emphasize on the fact that it's basically word of mouth, and that's how
Yeah.
I think I came from point A to B to C to D to E.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And would you say character also contributes to you being booked all over? Because I mean, and there's a lot of talented people, and you wonder why they're not out there as much as people that are a particular group of people.
I think yeah, it does, especially because there's a thing that when we play together as
Mm.
musicians, it's not the same as how it is mostly in the corporate sector where it doesn't really matter whether I know you or not. You just need to deliver your
Yeah.
job, give me what I need, and then goodbye. And then you'll get your salary at
Yeah.
the end of the month. We need to play with these
Mm.
people on a daily basis. We need to rehearse.
Mm.
It's like you are literally these colleagues that you are working with at that time. They're literally people who are around you. So you need to like live with
Mm.
these people. You need to have a civil relationship with these people, and
Mm.
having that kind of relationship with people that you are working with actually allows you to be booked again.
Mm.
Because
Mm.
if you are booked, manje, and like you are really the hardest person to deal with, you will not be
Yeah.
called again. And
Yeah.
over and above that, when something like that happens, when you are kind of a person who's like very hard to deal with, whoever
Mm.
was there in that situation where you were acting up is
Mm.
gonna spread what you were
Mm.
doing, and
Yeah, true.
it's gonna spread like a virus all over, not just Joburg but the country. Would you, whoa, watch out
Yes.
for that guy,
Yes.
So it's things
Mm.
that we need to like be very cognizant of, so that we don't like tarnish our reputations. So yeah, character does count a lot.
Yeah. I have one person in mind just to speak. His initials are MD.
Yeah. His initials.
The name
MD.
is MD. Yes. Then the name starts with M, the surname starts with D. Brilliant
Okay.
musician.
Yeah.
but character.
It's not there.
And also, okay, yeah, we met around 2012, 2013, and
Somewhere
then you
around.
were, I think you were in the gospel space. Tell us about that. You were once with Joya Celebration as well. Tell us about that journey, because I mean you're a jazz person, and I mean you look like a jazz person, and eventually
Yeah.
you ended up in jazz, and
Mm.
but how did you decide to get into the gospel space?
Okay. What you're saying is actually very right. Yes, I studied jazz full time, and that was the main thing I was doing. Like I went
Mm,
the whole 360. I was doing competitions, doing exchange programs, doing the whole shebang.
mm,
But meanwhile, that was happening. I fell in love with the instrument called the organ, and
mhm,
I basically did a lot of self tuition of it.
mm,
Uh,
mhm,
I literally would spend nights on the organ learning how to play it, learning how to play the actual instruments, like not just playing organ on the keyboard, but the actual instrument itself. So
mm,
that little gift kind of grew into something that was admirable. So as admirable as it was, there came a time where people would recognize it, and then I got a call from a friend of mine, uSangoma, umthetho,
mm,
ethi
mm,
uyacela ukuthi ngimjoyine kwi-Joyous. That was when he had finished they finished Joyous 17. So I did part of the tour, and then got Sakona Majoyous Rewind and whatnot. Well, when I came into Joyous, you rewind, you always want Joyous Rewind 2. I came in, same figure straight onto the recording
mm,
layer, which later in the year was which was 18. So my period in Joyous was
mm,
from Leo Rewind to Joyous 18, Joyous 19, Joyous 20. After recording your Joyous
mm,
20, that was my last show.
mm,
It was a good experience, I suppose. It did impose a lot of people to get to know who Lungelo is. People would inquire, would say, who is this new guy there in the center? Who's that guy playing that thing there, that red thing there? Because at that time, some people didn't even know what's okay, So, yeah, then the rest was history. I was there the whole time with drama tours, we do the shows.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it was an experience, I would
mm,
say so. Benefited from it because also it was sort of like memory extender because the songs are
yeah,
quite many. Usually,
mm,
what my shows is you wouldn't do more than 20 shows if it's a recording. If you're doing a normal gig of like an artist, because before gig, which I was playing for Judith, and when I was playing for Judith, we would just do 5, 6 songs max, and that's it. So by the
mm.
time ngiya ku-Joyous, sengiyodlala 37 songs, and it kept going to 40 to 42 to 44, and yeah. So it also became a memory extender which nje ukwazi ukugrabha a whole lot of songs. Yeah. Basically.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, ne, yeah, yanjimisa.
Yeah, no, we got to be fit, got to like stretch that memory. Remember each and every detail, each and every song. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no. That's why everybody makaphuma lapha uphuma soldier ready to war,
Yeah.
you know.
You can do anything. You can do
Yeah,
anything.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice, man. And what made you decide to go solo? What made you decide to go and okay, it will make sense why you decided to go jazz because that's what you master in. What made you
Mm.
decide to go solo?
As in, like, to leave Joyce.
None. Okay. Yes, let's go back there. What made you decide to leave Joyous?
Oh no, it was time. No, it was time. I won't say I was there just to be there for a very short while, because I was there just for what, 4 years.
Mm.
But I think for what I had done there, I felt guilty. Perhaps it's time for somebody else to take over and do better than me. You know. So that's when I left. Also, no, no, it just requires a lot of commitment, a lot of your time, a lot of like rehearsals. There are many, and also I wanted to do a lot of things, because like I'm still very young. I still want to play with a whole lot of musicians. I want to play with a whole lot of artists. So
Yeah.
that was the reason. Also, I just decided to let go of Joyous, and so I could venture into other things and be able to just travel easily. Because
Yeah.
iwona kade ngibamba kakhulu ukuthi there are many rehearsals, and especially drawing closer to the recordings. They're like almost every day, because ngiyakhumbula ukuthi the period senza it just 20 would rehearse from 10 in the morning until 10 in the evening. So basically, if that's your Monday to Friday, basically you can't take something in the evening, nor can you take something in the day. So basically, that's basically what it was in a nutshell. And to answer your second question, I had always wanted to be a solo musician, to do something by myself, but I never had the courage to do so, because we always are nervous, Tinama musicians, about like the first thing that you release as yours. What will the reception be like? What are people gonna think? What are people gonna say about this? And that's part of the things that happened is cut lockdown. Actually, let me stop always trying to wait for something in my face. Because also the vision I had for the very first show, which I was going to record for the building project, it was going to be like a rooftop thing with like lighting and like people around, like a nice setup. I had it in my head. I had the whole vision, and I knew it was something that it was going to look good on camera, because whether we like it or not, today YouTube, you only push out more than anything. If your content is good, it's gonna fly. So I want to with the cameras. How is it gonna look? How is it gonna, how is it gonna work for me and all of that? So, but there came a time, I said, stop wasting time, and then that's how I just released those two songs. And I think it was just bravery. I just need to be brave and just release, and then we'll see how the response is.
Yeah, and I mean, those two songs are beautiful songs. Today I had to refresh my memory, and I know you released that. When did you release them? Which year? Was it last year or year before?
I think it was 2020. Around it was it's under COVID. It must have level 4. Literally when level 4 hit, I did the record.
Wow. And now you see they're still so fresh. It's like they're timeless, and this is the kind of music that we need, not something you listen to today and it's like I can't listen to this again. So they're quite beautiful songs. And I see you featured Brendan, but there's a female vocalist. There's a female vocalist there. Who's that?
That is Rumbi. Rumbi, she's from Pretoria.
Oh, the keys girl.
Yes, she can play. Yeah, yes.
Oh wow, oh wow. I usually see her doing gospel songs, but she's very good with that. She must leave gospel alone. You must use her more often,
Yeah, I know she's good, man. I know she is good.
Yeah. And who wrote that song? The one with you.
That was Siatel. He stays in Rivonia. He's a lyricist. He wrote the song. Yeah. Even the other
Wow.
one as well. The second song, but yeah, the
Happy
second song,
happy
Happy
feeling.
Feeling. So that
Yeah.
one he wrote well, I just write the melodies of the songs, and then but it's the lyrics that I get from them. The melodies, I write all the melodies of all the songs, like each and every section. I do it on my hands, and then
Yeah.
I go and look for lyrics, because as for lyrics, I'm not that good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it must come from really far. It must be a very special spot. So you say, I wanted to say those words. Yeah, but today, also on the other song, it was him and then another guy too, Abel Mukwena.
Oh,
He's also part of the other song. Yeah.
yeah.
He
And
wrote
then
it.
and who was singing there? So
Sanelem Keys. He's the one singing.
Sanele.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Sanele. Ke man Sanele Mkhize? Angmazi.
Usanele is a guy who was on Idols. I'm not sure which season. I have no idea which season. But yeah, he was on Idols. He was there for quite a while. I think he also like kind of broke out in the industry from Idols at that time. So he's also quite out there now.
Nice. And okay, so what happens? You write a song first, and then you go get someone to write lyrics to that melody. How does it work?
Basically, what I do is I do the song. I do the whole pre-production of the song. Like I put in bass, the keyboard, I put in horns, the keyboard, I put in whatever drum loop, and I'll just put in keys, just to see. Structure sengoma yonke izwakale. Actually, the whole song. The arrange yonke as is from start to finish, and then when I'm done with that and when I'm satisfied, I send the song to the guy who's going to do lyrics. And then uma esewenza ama-lyrics ngiyamshiya ukuthi azenzele in his own discretion whatever he wants to do, but not tamper with what I've done. And then from there, in a usual setting, I'd probably call the guys into a studio. Go to guys, let's do a session. We do drum, bass, and keys and horns probably at the same time, or horns later. But in this setting, corner, because of COVID, I basically recorded just like an electric piano just to guide, but everything was on click. And then from there, I sent the track of what I just recorded without bass and without those drums, but just with the loop to the bass player in Durban. I emailed the track, and then he puts in bass, and then he brings it back to me. And then I had a session with the drummer. Fortunately, with the drummer, I was able to meet in studio with him. We went in studio. Now I have the bass that was already recorded, but the arrangements are there, so it wasn't a problem of like they're still gonna try and see what they're gonna do with groove and whatnot. But still, they still have the discretion of they can do whatever is in their discretion. I met with the drummer. He did everything he feels like, and he was able to groove with what he got from that bass. And then after the bass, I went to Centurion. Utep was still staying in Centurion. I got to Mamba to join in the session. I got to Neo to join in the session. We had a session in-house in Centurion. We did all the horns for both songs. From there, what I have now goes to the guitarist. The guitarist, he does everything he wants to do. And then now I have this. Now when I have this, what I have as all these instruments, now I went to Kahiso KJP at his place where he actually has a Hammond organ. Now I remove all those EPs and actually play the organ and record the organ there. Did the whole track. That was done. Now I have everything besides the singers. Then I send I send the song, well, after getting the lyrics back and all of that, I send the songs to the respective singers to check out the lyrics and the guides that have been given, and then they can also work out amongst themselves, because I just used Rumbino Brendan on the BVs, you know. On the other song, I With You is just Ruby and Brendan. On the other song, the Happy Feeling, it's Ruby and Usanele. If I'm not mistaken, it might be Uturumi, she did it by herself. I'm not Angisakhumbuli kahle, which is just a while ago. But so that's basically how it happened, because we all worked from our respective stations.
Yeah.
And then they basically sent me the steps, and then I put it together. When everything sounds solid, I consolidate the files. Sorry. And then when I'm done, I take the files to Job Tago of Audio Mix. He mixes the track. I sort out my reset things with ISRC codes and all of that, and then he embeds those codes with master, and then he gives me the master back. I went and did a photo shoot. I got some album art, got that back. Then I have a master with a PQ sheet and all of that, and then that was it.
Would you have done the same thing if COVID wasn't here? Or would you have done things differently?
Not at all, actually, because what I initially wanted to do was to have all the guys in studio so that they could all chip in their ideas, you know, so that it wouldn't just be all my thoughts. Let's do this, let's do that. It's nice also to have guys to throw in stuff so that your music can also sound fresh, you know.
Yeah.
So, but going forward, with the rest of the stuff that I'm going to do, it's not going to be that way. It's definitely going to be mostly live, because the music that I do is so much lively kind of than more studio kind of setup. Yeah. Basically, that's how it is.
And when are we getting the rest of the album? I've been looking forward to it. And we as Nisha, you just give us a starter. We are done with starter. Sifuna a main meal.
I'm thinking if things go well, the end of this year will definitely have something out, but it will be new songs, totally new songs. So it's just going to be something else on its own, but it's the full package of what I wanted to do initially. So if it doesn't happen at the end of this year, it will be early next year. But I'm basically working on it as we speak. The music is written, the music is there. Ngihlanganisa imali manje, because that is the one thing that is a problem. Ngeke urekhode ungenamali.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. No, you must tell me how much it is. I will sign you a check.
I'll be waiting for this.
I can't wait for a time like that where I can just say, how much do you need? Okay, I'll sign you a check.
Yeah.
Because when you know people are good with what they're doing, and they can release like good stuff, and you're waiting and waiting and waiting, and not realizing that the stuff is there, but it's waiting for money. So I want to be the blesser. I can't wait to be the blesser.
That'll be awesome. That'll be lovely.
Look, when your album comes out, you're gonna be so annoyed because you'll be seeing my text each and every morning when you wake up.
That'll be absolutely awesome.
Yeah, and there's a young person out there watching you as you do your thing. What advice would you give them for them to become Lungelo or more, or just because obviously you inspire them, you're kind of a role model without knowing, and they're watching here. What would you say to them?
For one, it would be mainly on the fact that we are so determined in what we do. That same determination is what should inspire whoever is before us, and whoever is after us, because we are also inspired by the people some people look down on. Because the playing is not the only thing that inspires. Like work ethic on its own can highly inspire you. You know, it's the determination that I think is the one thing that should really inspire. Because I don't want to enforce I call it education because some people it doesn't go so well with them. There are some people who studied but they are not doing so well. There are people who studied that are doing very well. There are people who didn't study that are doing very well, you know. So I don't want people to make it the core issue, which is did you study or not? Because there are people who didn't study but they're absolutely awesome. So that shouldn't be something that you use as a credit, which you are good just because you went. It's fortunate for us who were able to. If you are able to, if you still can, do it. If you can't, it's okay. Don't stop practicing or learning what you can do, and it's possible. And the fact that it may seem as if we sort of have made it, we actually haven't. We haven't done anything. Whatever it seems like we've done is not even a percent of what goes down in the real world, you know. So it's just me thinking to myself that it's important that people really emphasize to themselves that whenever I'm sure that I want to do this thing that is music, I do it to the fullest, I practice to the fullest, and I listen to music to the fullest, and I try to be as professional as I can be to the fullest. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. And what lessons would you say you've learned that school didn't teach you?
I think it's independence, like learning to be independent as a musician. Learning to stand for yourself, learning to be able to be different. Because nobody asked me to study organ. I didn't even go to school for organ, but I decided to just stand out. You know, I decided to stand out, and it's the one thing I think that is most important is to find a sound for one. You have to find a sound for yourself. It can't sound like every person or whoever you really look up to. It's good to get the reference of sound, but not that it's your sound. Now, so will sound exactly like that person. And also identifying key areas that are probably lacking in the industry, to identify them and try and fill those gaps. And those gaps are mostly going to be lucrative for you. Because like I've always thought to myself that there are many gigs I probably was never going to do. I was probably never going to do because honestly, artists are loyal to their MDs. Artists are loyal to their MDs, and it's all about to a piano player. And as a piano player, like you would probably never be booked to do that gig. Like I wouldn't be booked as a piano player for somebody who already has a steady person that they work with. I don't know if you understand what I mean. You'd never be good because that person probably has to die before either you're going to be booked to play keyboards, and that's why I decided to just shift and play organ, and it worked out for me quite well, you know. So it's identifying, you know, those points.
Yabona again, oh Jesus. Kune lento le you did with Untokozo Mbambo. I think it was I don't know what it's called, but I saw that in December, like during festive period. And without even watching, I was like, I know my batini, because you remember you participated in Attention Awards, the Facebook Awards, and you played something in organ. When I heard that, I didn't have to see you. I knew that you were there, Val. And even Sia's album, I heard Torunale again, and I was like, "No, ma batini la ulungelo." So you have made, you've you've created that. You've created the brand around organ worry. You're the organ guy, you know?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's just trying to like marginalize on something that is not like focused on, and then it works for
Yeah.
you, and it turns out to be lucrative at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. Because not everybody's doing it, you know?
True, true, true. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what are the challenges that you still experience in the music industry
I
generally?
think I think the main challenges I would experience is the fact that the professionalism that is expected of you is never given to you, um,
Mm,
mostly in the black society when it comes to payments.
mm,
You
mm,
have to wait. You have to wait. After the gig is done, you have to wait. The next thing you'll be given excuses yet. When it's rehearsal
mm,
time, you need to be there on time. When it's the gig
mm,
time, you need to be there on time. You need to be dressed up. You need to be on point. All
mm,
those things.
mm,
And we make
mm.
sure we rock up looking good and ready and like we'll rock up that stage. But at the end of the
Yeah.
day, when the job is done, now he's suffering waiting for payments.
Mm, mm,
I don't usually have these problems with I don't want to be racist, but honestly, white people don't do that. I've never
yeah,
had that
that's
problem
true.
with I've never had that problem with white people. But as
Yeah.
for our black society, it happens all the time, like all the
Yeah.
time. And sometimes you
Yeah.
don't know why. You don't know why. You don't know if
Mm,
it's You don't know if it's negligence or it's
mm,
utter disrespect. But yeah,
mm,
that's the only. I think that's the only challenge I face. Other than that,
mm.
work is good.
Yeah. I think it's disrespect. I mean, I've been, I did a lot of promoting, well, as a promoter, booking artists, and I realized the same thing. With most promoters they don't pay not because the money is not there. The money is there. That is what does the event. They pay. A client will pay a full amount. But ungathi siyathanda i-account yethu in a many numbers. So we don't want to pay
Yeah,
very quickly. We still wanna
true.
have a look at it. Siyachazeka masibona many numbers.
Ish.
Then we're like,
Hey,
I'll pay, man, I'll pay.
hey,
But it's totally disrespect. It's got nothing to do with waiting for
yeah.
payments or whatever. But it's unprofessionalism, unfortunately.
True, true.
When they don't pay you, ngicela ngibhelele ntwana mina bazokubhadala manje.
I'll hold you to that. Yeah.
I always say, which is sometimes at the mention of Gaddafi, everybody makes the right thing. If you were owed, you will be paid. So try the name Gaddafi. Okay, if you don't pay, guys, I have to speak to Gaddafi. They're gonna pay double, so don't worry.
Yeah. You'll be
Yeah.
sorted.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Is there who do you look forward to working with? Anyone you want to be collaborating with, whether locally or globally?
Um, actually, I haven't thought about it,
Yeah.
but globally, actually, no. Let me just come back here in the country. Most of the musicians that I've worked with, I am gonna
Mm,
collaborate with. I want to
yeah.
collaborate with because I'm still gonna do like a whole series of albums. I'm still gonna
Mm,
do a gospel album, just gospel singer and organ only. A full album of
mm,
that. Just organ and singer. That's a gospel album. I'm gonna use all these all these awesome artists that I've worked with in that album. And also in the other side of things, it's all your awesome people like Abolanga, Mavuso. I really
yeah.
like how he sounds. Umanana, definitely. I'd love to work with
Mhm,
that guy. I also really like the youth. That's the thing.
yeah.
The youth. I think the new sound is really good. There's this lady, Mekuma Puna. She sounds
Mm,
really great. I
mm,
still really want to do something with her. Yeah, and then also, yeah, I think that's it. I have to really think about globally who would I wish to work with, because I think I
Yeah.
haven't put that to thought yet. I
Yeah.
don't know,
Yeah.
maybe it's this thing of undermining ourselves, but yeah, I haven't put it to thought ever.
Or undermining them. You're like, Michael Camilo is not my like. He's there.
No,
I'm here. I'm here.
undermining ourselves. Undermining ourselves. That's the thing.
Yeah, no, it's something you
Yeah.
should think about because I mean, for me, you guys, you're global. Like I listen to when I
Mm.
listen to that kind of jazz, I'm like, and that's how I marry my myself to your sound because it's like it's something that I can relate to. My dad used to love jazz. I mean, you can see this Joe Smith and to Evers, and I grew up listening to jazz. I hated it,
Yeah.
and but I didn't have a choice but to listen to it because it's his car, it's his house. I must, just sit in there, whatever he plays.
You must
But then I didn't
abide.
realize, yes, abide, just. So, but I didn't realize Uguti, he is instilling it in me because right now, dude, I mean, when I'm alone, people think I'm listening to this jazz from 9 to 9, but I'm actually listening to jazz most of the time, because
Yeah.
it's a foundation of all sounds and I think of all genres. Um, so tell me, they, I think this is the last question. Natim
Okay.
Tetwa, are you happy with his services? And if not, what is it that you want to say to him? Any message to
I
our
would
minister?
really love Uguti to focus a bit more on the ground. If there's possible um, formations that could be made
Mm,
for assistance to actually know what is actually happening on the ground. There's a lot that could actually be achieved because I think whatever they were trying to do really didn't work out to the artist's favor
yeah.
in many, many situations. They are really fun. And honestly speaking, even that 20,000 Rand limit was just not on.
Mm,
Some of us make way more than 20,000 Rand a month. So if we're going to start now having to succumb to 20,000 Rand for what? How many months? 3 months. We
yes,
must
3 months.
live off 20,000 Rand.
Yes, yes.
Ah, hey, yeah, yeah. No, but
Yeah,
I really wish he could have like a formation system to actually find out what's actually going down. Because
yeah,
sometimes I don't know if it's ignorance or it's just lack of knowledge, but they really
mm,
need to also research themselves to actually know what's going down. Because I won't instantly put blame with bad minister or bad what. Because honestly,
yeah,
he doesn't know our names. He doesn't know all
yeah.
these musicians that we are. He doesn't know what we do. He
Mm,
doesn't know how much money we make. Ukuthi kube
yeah.
lula to come to such a conclusion of 20,000 rand. And no 20,000 rand
Mm,
bazofaka ama-stipulations ukuthi kufunakala ama-contracts and in a cancellation contract, whereas most of the times i-gig iyangena ngithole i-call Lungelo sakudinga Friday i-rehearsal, there are two rehearsals, Wednesday, Thursday, each rehearsal is paying 500 rand, 500 rand, gig is paying 5,000 rand. Are you available? You say, okay,
mm,
cool, no, I'm there. Sharp, ngeni imali, I'm there.
mm,
There's no contract there. Literally, that's how
mm,
we work. And imagine there were
mm,
so many gigs that I had that I could not
mm,
submit merely because they are not contractual. There was only one
mm,
contractual gig that I was able to submit, and they literally just submitted like they paid only for that gig, which was below
mm,
20,000. Yet we
mm,
hear that there are people who got millions. So all of those things I don't even want to get into because I don't like getting into the very in-depth kind of things. But
mm.
I really wish that they would try and just like try and find some systems to be able to know what is actually really going down in the music
Yeah.
industry if they are really trying to serve the music industry.
Yeah, because they're not serving right now. They're not serving the music industry.
Yeah,
I don't know what they're
yeah,
serving, but yeah,
it's not working. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And where can people find you if they want to book you? And on social media platforms, who are you? And any booking information, email, number they could dial.
Okay, so basically, with booking me, it's very very simple. It's just my email address and cell phone number. But I am on social media. I try to be as interactive as possible. I'm still working on having a person who's actually going to deal with it because hey, this thing of posting all the time. Some of us it's tough. For some of us it's really tough. It's only we can put it like 3 months. 3 months and I
Yeah.
post in Lotto. But I am on Facebook. It's just Lungelo. Everything of mine is just straightforward. Lungelo
Yeah.
as it is. On Instagram, Lungelo no, but to get there, it's Lungelo_. Literally that. But my email address is lungelo@live.com. You just send me an email, I'll get it, I'll respond. Yeah, I'll just keep it to that. Yeah. Email is the best way.
Yes. You said like you're on some Zulu radio station, Lungelo Mngcobo. Like
That's how it is.
And iphuma ngesizulu, like everything else is like so light. Matter when you come to your name, it comes with the Zulu,
Yeah, because that's where it's from.
Yeah. Hey man, thank you for your time, man. Thank you for your time.
It was lovely being here. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Is there anything that I left out that you maybe want to say before you bounce?
I think we've covered everything. Yeah, thank you for having me. It was really a lovely chat. Yeah.
Yes.
It was great. Yeah.
We'll have another one before you release your album.
Yes, most definitely. Yes, most definitely.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, bro.
Only a pleasure.
Alright, bye.
Bye.
Yeah, guys, that was that. That was Lungelo Mngcobo. That was Lungelo Mngcobo. Lungelo Mngcobo. Goodbye.